Another week, another list, the most trending comic books in the world. And let's chat about New Teen Titans Annual #2. We're talking about the first appearance of the Vigilante in costume, post the Season 2 trailer for Peacemaker. I put this right next to The Boys for me. This is the most exciting new show that I'm anticipating.
I'm really excited for the new Peacemaker season because the first one was amazing. So we're getting a little bit of slow burn. We're getting some more information now, which is why we're seeing this book at number 10 on the list. It's only $15 average sales with $160 for a recent CGC 9.8. Now, we did have confirmation from the actress Brie Nicole that she is going to be White Rabbit in Peacemaker Season 2. And as more things are revealed, I'm just getting more and more excited. It's a 350% increase in copies sold this week.
Yeah, I was super surprised to see Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion, Green Lantern. This is going to be like a multiversal Peacemaker. We see like different versions of him in trailer, which is probably setting us up for this like universe, multiverse is a better word, crossover to get Peacemaker and all these characters to the James Gunn universe that really begins with Superman Legacy coming out in just a few months. Vigilante was a fan favorite, so no surprise to see him landing here, and it's pretty affordable and an underappreciated key book. Utilize Code Tom 101 on the best comic app in existence. It's called Key Collector Comics. You support the show, but more importantly, you get access to key alerts.
I own a shop and I do this professionally. And when I get one of these key alerts, I know it's something I need to pay attention to because it is always casting information or a new movie or something that's been optioned, which all of a sudden means there's a new book that I need to go hunting for or find in my backstock because people are going to want it.
Which brings us to number 9, X-Men 49 from 1968. This is the Jim Steranko cover, first appearance of Polaris, the daughter of Magneto, the mistress of magnetism. $300 high average sales. I had to check this next number a few times, seeing $600 on a 9.0. Jim Steranko key book seems super low.
$600 is pretty solid for that book. And if you bump it up just from a 9.0 to a 9.2, you start seeing $1,000 and up. So you can get a really respectable grade of a beautiful looking book. But if you like Polaris and really like Steranko, number 50 is another fantastic cover that he did in this X-Men run.
Whenever dealers are talking about Jim Steranko, these are the two keys that get brought up the most right out the gate, 49 and 50. They go hand in hand. But he did some other X-Men covers, and I'm going to hit you with this question. What is off the cuff some of the most underrated or underappreciated Jim Steranko covers?
So it's easy to be able to say Captain America 110, 111, 113. Those are classic covers that everyone needs to have in their Rolodex, but I like the more deep cuts like Creatures on the Loose 21 and 22. Like these are characters that not anyone is thinking about, but really cool spacemen and a barbarian cover that's just Steranko kind of in his element having fun.
Yo, this number is getting way off track, but I will bring it back. I promise you. But whenever talking about Steranko, I got to talk about Eerie Magazine number 25, a horror magazine cover that is so tough to find in high grade. And I'm just going to throw this back to you. Supernatural Thrillers number 2.
Yeah, I mean, the first time that we actually had someone draw the Invisible Man in the Marvel Universe was Jim Steranko. That's a book that almost nobody talks about.
Dude, what did they just announce this last week?
Oh my God. Okay, so all right, this is like 6 degrees of Jim Steranko right now because they just announced that Skybound is going to be doing Universal Monsters Invisible Man. So the fact that Jim Steranko drew the first Invisible Man cover in the Marvel Universe, again, it's all full circle.
Got James Tynion the fourth, freaking Danny on Invisible Man, a 4-issue miniseries. Joshua Middleton's name is on the variant list, and so is Alex Ross. I digress because we're here to talk about Neve Campbell, you know, the person from Scream, you know, she kills it and she was cast as Polaris, but probably for X-Men 97, right? That makes the most sense.
It would make more sense to at least start her in the animated before they did something live action, but you never know. We connected all of the dots. A web has been woven.
And I don't even know what this next book is doing here trending this week. $3 average sales on Avengers versus X-Men #1 from 2012.
This was a great crossover event because you had the X-Men and the Avengers fighting each other. It was around about the time in 2012 that the Avengers movie had just come out. And while this book is the second appearance of Sam Alexander Nova, a lot of people,
printings of this.
so many printings, people wanted to read it. And Marvel was really having a comic book resurgence at this point in time. I opened my shop in 2012. I remember that these were definitely books that people were looking for, but they weren't high dollar. So to see this on the list, again, 13 years after the fact, we have rumors that we may very well end up seeing the Avengers fighting the X-Men in the new Avengers movie, but still, this book should not be selling as quickly as it is. It should not be going for the asking prices. Some people are asking crazy. Like, I saw someone listing on eBay $75 for #1 first print. This is not an expensive book. This is not worth that. Don't go crazy. It's 113% increase in copies sold this week. So yeah, a little bit of bump, a little bit of interest, but nothing confirmed and not really anything that's long term.
$3 average sales, 130 for a 9.8. There was the actor who portrays Nightcrawler who let it slip that he was
hitting Pedro Pascal against the head or something.
So, I mean, that kind of like almost confirms something. But this book makes me think of X-Men #9 the most. You know, first X-Men Avengers crossover / battle. You gotta go for that Silver Age Kirby when you can.
Absolutely. That's the one that I really think if X-Men versus Avengers is going to happen, go for the original Volume 1 X-Men. But there are multiple variants to pick up, including the 7th print, which is my personal favorite.
That gold.
The gold and
dress.
black kind of has a lightning bolt, looks a little bit like Storm, but there's also a lot of traction for the people who are Scotty Young collectors. We recently saw a CGC 9.8 of the Scotty Young Midtown variant of Avengers versus X-Men #1 go for just over $300.
This is my biggest spec fail of the last 5 years. #7 on the list, Invincible Iron Man #9. This is the first full appearance of Riri Williams as Ironheart. $40 high average sales, $150 for a CGC 9.8. The Four Horsemen variant of issue #9 hit heights of over $4,000 at one point. Most recent sale, $500. Wait for it. I paid like $3,000 for that 9.8 at one point. Yo, I was all in on Young Avengers. And I think this is one of the victims of just wrong place, wrong time for this character. And did you see the trailer? Don't you kind of get that vibe with this show that this should have come out years ago in order for it to have been able to be as exciting as what this show should be? I mean, it's Ryan Coogler, man.
Well, absolutely. And Ryan Coogler is fantastic. But when you have the Shuri tied in with the Riri Williams thing that's literally in the trailer, it makes you feel this should have happened right after Black Panther 2. But it didn't. There's so much wait time between here, and we just had a lot of downtime. I know people were speccing on Young Avengers. They were speccing on Kate Bishop. They were speccing on Stature. They were speccing on...
Dude, you're naming all of the books that I failed on.
Right, and we spent the last 4 or 5 years talking about it. Well, this stuff is finally coming to fruition at a much lower price point. Yes, we had pandemic that kind of drove prices up. Yes, we had people coming from home, but it shouldn't have fallen this far.
An increase of copies sold to 467%. The hood looks awesome in trailer. The CGI looks dope. And we're supposed to get Sacha Baron Cohen Mephisto. So you got to watch this show. And if you're at all interested in key books for the next generation of superheroes, this is a great time to spec because the prices are super low.
It's great to be back this week. At #6 on the list, we have Last of Us American Dreams #1. And
Yo, Russ.
Tom is... What?
I'm going hungry.
Absolutely. This is why Tom is going to let me do this number. Now, this book has been on the list for the past few weeks, and people are very excited about The Last of Us show. $150 average sales, $900 for a CGC 9.8. If you are actively watching the show this last episode, you will see that Ellie picked up a guitar and started playing a song called Future Days. It's a Pearl Jam song, which is actually heavily featured in the video game. The game itself, parts of it are set in and around the Seattle area, and Pearl Jam themselves have been very tied into this game. So even if you haven't been watching it, Pearl Jam released a special 4-track EP to the 10 Club, and you could actually still buy it on their website, that has Future Days, a live cover of Future Days, and another version of Present Tense, which is the Pearl Jam song on the outro of the final book. Ellie and Joel's song is Future Days. So it is a very touching moment when you get to watch this in the show. And if you're not watching it, you really should watch season 1 and catch up. It is great. But for those of us that want to go even deeper, last Halloween, Pearl Jam collaborated with Naughty Dog Studios and released this awesome clicker t-shirt, which I think a lot of the Pearl Jam 10 Club people weren't aware of this show or why it was there, so it didn't sell very well. And I think this is a very, very collectible thing.
An increase in copies sold of 192%. There's 2 episodes left of The Last of Us. It's superb. You need to catch up. Russ, you were in Nashville last week watching Pearl Jam. You sent me pictures. You were like feet away from Eddie Vedder.
Yep.
You were in the pit.
I was absolutely in the pit.
I fell in the pit. Number 5 on the list, Invincible, number 19. The first appearance of Battle Beast. And if you like the show that you're watching, I want to send you comics every single month. Mystery Mail Call. I teamed up with the 1 in 100 artist, John Boy freaking Myers, on Battle Beast number 1. 1 per box is a foil variant. And you can get yours if you sign up really quick, because we have under like 300 boxes left for you to secure. ComicTom.com, link in the description. We're talking about the first appearance of Battle Beast because we have Battle Beast issue number 1 debuting this week.
We are reporting $180 average sales and $600 for CGC 9.8, a 220% increase in copies sold. And as if that wasn't enough, people are excited about Battle Beast, but these blind bags flying off the shelves and people are going crazy for them.
Image announced, confirmed a 400,000 print count of Battle Beast number 1. And quote, a lot, in capital letters, of them were these blind bags, which consisted of all the incentives as like a potential opportunity to get, including 3 books that landed on the trending list this week. This is part of a larger list of 20, but we are going to save some spots and bring them into this number. You have the first Invincible Spider-Man comic in Marvel Team Up 14, the foil edition you can get in these blind bags. You can get Invincible 19 foil edition, as well as an advanced copy of issue number 2, which isn't even out yet, in foil. All 3 on the trending 20.
Battle Beast number 1 marks the return of this incredible team up of Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley. Completely and totally missed, but worth reading. This is great.
Number 4 on the list is Revival number 1 from 2012. Writer Tim Seeley teaming up with Mike Norton with cover artist Jenny Frison. This is early Jenny work, and I think that's the reason why this book was spec'd on long before any option status was granted.
Keep in mind that around this time, we had Witches as well as Revival and a couple other things that were getting the gears turning, but 114% increase in copies sold this week because we finally have our first look at this after a very long time. We heard a year ago that this was going to be in production as a television show for the Sci-Fi Network.
$15 high average sales, $300 for a CGC 9.9. There are 14 9.9s on the census.
Wow.
And the 9.8 has been acquired for as little as like $50 this year alone. But last sale shows at $140.
A sign that a book goes from 0 to 60 and no one was speccing on it is that there are not very many 9.8s, and the number of 9.8 sales is super low, just like this next one. Number 3 on the list, Thanos Imperative Devastation number 1 from 2011. We're reporting $10 high sales and can't even really tell you a 9.8 sale because there are 3 copies on the census, and those 3 sales were $21 in 2019, $128 in April 2018, and $33 in December 2013. So we haven't even seen a sale of this in over 6 years.
An increase of copies sold of 633%. This is the first team appearance of the Annihilators. This is the cosmic team up that consists of Quasar, Silver Surfer, Ronan the Accuser, Beta Ray Bill, Gladiator, Space Knight, and Cosmo. And there are rumors that there is a Annihilators something in development. Yo, I can table all those characters. When I saw a Beta Ray Bill there, I'm like, hell yeah, dude, this is what I want. I don't even, Annihilators, this book, sure. Number 3 on the list, $10. Buy what you want. But yo, just secure your first appearance of Beta Ray Bill.
That has always been a book that people need to buy. And Thor number 337, it's such a perpetually relevant book. We know that even since Thor Ragnarok, when we saw him on the tower,
They teased us, dude.
Beta Ray Bill exists in the universe. We know he's there.
We got Man-Thing before Beta Ray Bill.
Ugh.
Which is like, I'm not complaining, but dude.
Sure, but I mean, Beta Ray Bill, that's my childhood right there, man. That's a book.
Well, speaking of cosmic characters and the pit, you know, Chris Pratt, we're talking Star-Lord right now. This is what he had to say recently in reference to him coming back and returning to the role of Star-Lord. He said, I can't say for my fans where they'll see Star-Lord again, but I can tell them we have made a promise at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that the legendary Star-Lord will return, and he will return.
Speaking of returns, here's a character that I don't think any of us were actually expecting, but with the success of the new Daredevil Born Again show, this book makes sense. Number 2 on the list, Alias number 1. Hey, Jessica Jones, Brian Michael Bendis goodness.
$75 high average sales, $185 for a CGC 9.8. Jessica Jones is coming back. This is what Kristen Ritter had to say. It's so great to be back, returning to Jessica Jones after 3 seasons and the Defenders and now joining the MCU. I'm so excited to bring back this iconic character, and without giving too much away, there is so much more in store for Jessica Jones. This is going to be an incredible season.
A 667% increase in copies sold this week after we heard her utter those words. I love Kristen Ritter. I love what she does. Jessica Jones was absolutely a highlight of the Defenders. And you know what? I love my David Tennant, so bring back Purple Man. Come on.
Hit the like and slap the subscribe button. We do a giveaway at the end of this show, and it's going to be an advanced copy of our Dallas Fan Expo comic book. Number 1 on the list this week, Sanford Green, Doom number 1. Robert Downey Jr. posting that he's getting in Victor Von Doom mode, and he's referencing some of the best comic material that's come out in the last decade. I'm talking about the one-shot. I'm talking about the written and drawn by Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman, Doom.
$40 average sales, $85 for a CGC 9.8, and a 325% increase in copies sold this week because Robert Downey Jr. posted a photo on his Instagram showing us what he's been reading to get ready.
What a freaking cool thing to have happen as a creator, right? Like, this is actually one of the most involved he's been on the creative side, and he left his mark. I mean, this is a book that every single person needs to read. Yeah, there's some other outside hype to it because he chose to do some really innovative stuff in the pages of this comic book. You got the MF Doom quote, which a lot of people got excited about. But once you read through the whole thing, you find out that this is one of the most epic single issues featuring a Doom versus Galactus narrative.
Doom is one of the most used over the entire run of Marvel characters, and I just don't think enough people understand how big of a baddie he is because all of the depictions we've seen on screen, all of the movies we've seen have not been great. So I am hoping that the new Fantastic Four does build us toward the real Victor Von Doom, and this comic is really where it kicks off for a lot of new fans. If you can't afford Fantastic Four number 5, go get this one shot.
Congratulations, Sanford Green. And of course, as always,
Geek responsibly.
Enough said. And that's the end of the video. We have 5 different giveaways to announce. If your number ends in 7840, 1412, 3252, and 2252, check your phone.
And if your name is Jerry Martin, you may have already won. Check your text messages because the SMS list is where you need to go to sign up to win these giveaways.
And next week, we're going to be announcing 5 more winners for a Dallas Fan Expo early drop Dan Quintana Exquisite Corpses issue number 1 foil. Have a great week.